Imagine it is 2 o'clock on a sunny Saturday afternoon. You are standing on a busy street corner, feeling the warmth of the sun and watching people walk by. Suddenly, a tourist approaches you with a map and a hopeful look on their face. They ask you a simple question. "Excuse me, where is the nearest pharmacy?" In that moment, your heart skips a beat. You know exactly where the pharmacy is. It is just behind the big blue bank around the corner. But as you open your mouth to speak, something happens in your brain. A little loading icon starts spinning right in the middle of your forehead. You start searching for words. You think of the word for street. You think of the word for next. You try to remember how to use the word until. You are building a complex sentence piece by piece in your mind, and the silence is becoming very heavy. The tourist is still smiling, but you can see them starting to look a little bit confused. Jack, have you ever felt that specific kind of panic where your brain just refuses to load the English you know is in there?
Oh, absolutely, Emma. It is that feeling of being a human computer that has just frozen. You have the data, but the processor is too slow. You want to be helpful and friendly, but instead you just stand there looking at the sidewalk while your internal translator works overtime. It is a frustrating wall that so many of our A2 and B1 learners hit every single day. They have studied the grammar and they know the vocabulary, but when the pressure is on, the system crashes. That is exactly what we are going to fix today. If you want to stop that loading icon from appearing and start speaking with the kind of natural speed that makes you feel confident, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now. By joining our Pocket English community, you are giving yourself the tools to handle these real-life moments without the stress. We are here to help you turn that frozen silence into clear, easy conversation. So let's talk about why that loading icon happens in the first place. Most of the time, it's because you are trying to be a translator instead of a speaker. You are taking a thought in your native language and trying to build a custom English sentence word by word. It's like trying to build a car from scratch every time you want to go to the grocery store. It's too much work and it takes too much time. Instead, you should be using what we call the Lego method. Think about Legos for a second, Emma. When you play with Legos, you don't create the plastic bricks yourself. You take blocks that are already made and you just snap them together. Fluency in English works the exact same way. Native speakers don't think about grammar rules when they talk. They use pre-made blocks of language that we call chunks or Lego bricks.
You're right, Jack, and the mistake many learners make is trying to build a custom sentence when they could just use a brick. Let's go back to that street corner. Instead of trying to translate the phrase, "walk until you see the bank and then turn," which is very difficult to do quickly, you can just use a Lego brick like, "it is just around the corner." That phrase is one solid block. You don't need to think about the grammar of it. You just pull it out of your pocket and use it. When you use a Lego brick, your brain doesn't have to work. The loading icon never appears because you aren't calculating anything. You are just repeating a pattern. This is the secret to moving from A2 to B1 and beyond. It is about moving away from word-by-word translation and moving toward phrase-by-phrase speaking. David, I think the biggest fear people have is that using these simple blocks will make them sound like a robot or a child. But the truth is actually the opposite. Using these blocks makes you sound more natural. If you say, "the pharmacy is located in a position that is behind the bank," it sounds like a textbook. If you say, "it's just past the bank," you sound like a local. That is the beauty of the Lego method. It is faster for you and easier for the person listening to you. Let's look at how this works in our street corner scene. If someone asks for directions, there are 3 or 4 Lego bricks that will solve almost every problem. The first one is, "it is just around the corner." The second one is, "go straight for 2 blocks." The third one is, "you can't miss it." Emma, think about how much mental energy you save by just memorizing those 3 blocks as single units. If you try to build them word by word, you have to think about prepositions, articles, and verb tenses. But if you see them as Legos, they are just one piece of information each. Exactly, Jack. It's the difference between carrying 20 small stones in your hands or carrying one solid brick. Let's break down why your brain likes this. Our brains are designed to recognize patterns. When you try to translate from your native language, you are fighting against the natural way your brain wants to work. You are forcing it to do a math problem while you are trying to have a social interaction. No wonder we get stressed. But when you use a Lego brick, you are giving your brain a rest. You are saying, "Hey brain, don't worry, I've got this pre-made piece ready to go." This allows you to focus on your emotion, your eye contact, and your connection with the other person. That is what real talking is all about. It is not about being a perfect grammar machine. It is about being a human who can share information quickly. I want to talk about another area where these Legos are lifesavers, and that is at work or in a cafe. Imagine you are at a coffee shop and you are next in line. The barista looks at you and says, "What can I get for you?" If you start translating your native thoughts, you might say, "I want that I drink a coffee of the type latte." It takes too long. But if you have your Lego brick ready, which is "I'll have a," you just snap on the word latte. I'll have a latte. It's instant, it's smooth, it's professional. I love that example, Jack, because it shows how one Lego brick can be used in 100 different ways. You can say, "I'll have a tea," "I'll have a sandwich," "I'll have a look at the menu." The first part of the sentence never changes. It is a permanent block in your mental Lego set. We want our listeners to start collecting these bricks. Every time you hear a native speaker say a short phrase that sounds useful, don't just look at the words. See the whole phrase as a single brick. Put it in your pocket. Save it for later. And if you are finding this helpful so far, please take a second to like this video. It helps us know that you want more of these simple, practical strategies for your English journey. Now, Jack, I think we should give our listeners a chance to actually practice this. We've talked about the theory, but the Lego method only works if you build the muscle memory in your mouth. You have to get used to the feeling of these blocks snapping together. I agree, Emma. Let's do a little practice session right now. I want everyone listening to imagine they are back on that street corner. I'm going to say a Lego brick, and I want you to repeat it out loud. Don't worry about the spelling or the grammar. Just focus on the sound and the rhythm of the whole block. The first brick is, "It's just around the corner." Now you try it. Good. Let's do it one more time. It's just around the corner. Notice how the words all blend together into one sound. You don't say, "It is just around the corner." You say, "It's just around the corner." That is what makes it a brick. Now let's try the second one. Go straight for 2 blocks. Your turn. Excellent. And the final one for this scene. You can't miss it. Go ahead. I hope you can feel the difference, Emma. When you say those phrases, you aren't thinking about where the verb toes. You are just making a sound that carries a complete meaning. That is the feeling of fluency. It is a physical feeling in your mouth, not just a thought in your head. It really is. And you can apply this to every part of your day. Think about your workplace. Instead of saying, "I have a question that I want to ask to you," which is very long and full of potential mistakes, you can just use the Lego brick. "Could I ask you something?" It is polite, it is fast, and it works every single time. Or if you are in a meeting and you need to interrupt, you don't need to translate, "Excuse me, I want to say a thing now." Just use, "Could I just add something?" These are the bricks that build a professional career in English. It's about having a set of tools that you can rely on when you are tired or nervous. Because let's be honest, Emma, we all get nervous. Even at a B1 or B2 level, when you are tired after a long day of work, your brain doesn't want to do grammar. It wants the easy way out. The Lego method is the easy way out that actually makes you sound better. That is such a good point, Jack. Fluency isn't about being smart. It's about being prepared. It's about having your pockets full of these bricks so that no matter what happens, you have something to say. Whether you are at the pharmacy, the grocery store, or the office, you are ready. I want to challenge everyone listening to do one small thing today. I don't want you to go and study a grammar book for an hour. I want you to pick just one Lego brick. Maybe it's "I'll have a," or maybe it's "Could you tell me?" Use that one brick at least 3 times today. Even if you are just talking to yourself in the kitchen while you make dinner, say it out loud. Feel the snap of the words coming together. When you do that, you are training your brain to stop translating and start talking. You are breaking the habit of word-by-word thinking. You are becoming a Lego builder. And that is how your English grows, one pocket-sized piece at a time. It's the small, consistent actions that lead to the biggest changes in your life. Jack, I think it's also important to remind people that it's okay if they forget a brick sometimes. If you find yourself in a situation where the loading icon appears, don't panic. Just take a deep breath and look for the simplest Lego brick you know. Even a simple brick like, "I'm sorry, could you repeat that?" is a powerful tool. It buys you time. It keeps the conversation alive. The goal is never to be perfect. The goal is to keep the conversation moving. When you stop worrying about being perfect and start focusing on using your bricks, the fear of making mistakes starts to disappear. You realize that you don't need 1,000 words to be fluent. You just need a few dozen strong, reliable bricks.
That is exactly right, Emma.
English doesn't have to be a giant mountain that you have to climb. It can be a collection of small, beautiful things you keep in your pocket. We are so proud of everyone who spent these few minutes with us today. You are already ahead of so many other learners because you are looking for a practical, natural way to speak. You aren't just memorizing rules, you are building a habit. We want to hear from you in the comments. What is one Lego brick that you use all the time? Or maybe there is a situation where you always freeze and you need a new brick to help you. Let us know and we can help you find the right piece for your set. Before we go, Emma, do you have one last piece of advice for our pocket learners? I do, Jack. My advice is to remember that every native speaker you admire started exactly where you are. We all had to learn these patterns. The only difference is that we've practiced snapping the bricks together so many times that we don't even think about it anymore. You will get there too. Just keep practicing your bricks, keep listening, and keep your English in your pocket. You are doing a great job, and your progress is happening even when it feels slow. Each time you say a phrase without translating it, you have won a major victory. Celebrate those small wins. They are the foundation of your future fluency. We can't wait to see you in the next lesson, where we will add even more bricks to your collection. Until then, stay curious, keep talking, and let your English grow one small piece at a time. You have the power to change your life with your words, so go out there and start building. We will be right here with you every step of the way. Have a wonderful day of speaking and exploring the world in your new language. Goodbye for now.